Lisa, and
I'm David.
And this is the first episode of our video blog on the DL. We are both editors of NASANewsLive.com at Hofstra University, and today we're going to be talking to you about the recent elections. And my position at NASA News is social media editor, so I'm really big into Twitter and Facebook, and I thought it was really interesting how the candidates, especially the people running for Nassau County executive, used Facebook and Twitter as part of their campaigns this year. And that's something that we've seen quite often this year in all sorts of politics. Any politician who's anybody who wants votes, who really wants to reach out to their public, is using Twitter and Facebook to get their message out. And Ed Mangano and Tom Suozzi really took advantage of this.
Mangano actually employed two Hofstra graduates to head up his social media department.
That's right, our former...
Pete DeSilvio, the former president of the student government.
Yeah.
And Billy Florio, who, among other illustrious things, worked on the Humor magazine.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously it's important that Hofstra's giving us these social media tools because they're getting people jobs, which is more than a lot of our graduates can say these days in this economy.
I'll take a job if it pays me to Twitter.
I'd love to Twitter professionally. I think that'd be great. I'm doing it right now, so. But, yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And are the results concluded?
For all of the races except county executive, really, the margin between Suozzi and Mangano, I think, was about 210 votes in Suozzi's favor.
Right.
And there apparently a recount is going to start on Monday, but I don't know how true or not that is.
Another recount. Oh, remember those two?
Oh, yes, I do.
The first Bush election. Oy.
Good old 2000?
2000, yeah. That was a long time ago.
God, that was a long time ago.
I was, I think, in 5th grade.
No.
I was, yeah.
No. Because...
5th or 6th. 5th going into 6th, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I feel so old.
Wouldn't it have been funny to watch President Bush use a Twitter? Would have loved that one.
I think he would transpose a couple of the letters and
what's this Twitter thing?
Twitter.
I twattered today.
You know, it's all the same.
That would have been a big mess. However, for everyone here on Nassau County, you're pretty lucky that Tom Suozzi and Ed Mangano seem to really know what they were doing with their social media, and whether we can attribute that to them personally or to their social media specialists is really up in the air, but either way, they really took advantage of it. I felt personally like Ed Mangano, especially on Twitter, especially on Facebook, did a much better job of, like, not so much, like, giving people updates on, like, just the progress of the campaign and the election, but he really used it to get people's input. And
it's really interesting comparing it to at least the New York City races, because I don't think Mayor Bloomberg has a Twitter that he regularly goes on.
Right.
I mean, I was looking up tickets to the Yankee Parade tomorrow, which they're giving away, and it said go on Mayor Bloomberg's Twitter, and it was just NYC Mayor.
Right.
And I don't think Bill Thompson has a Twitter either.
It's a lot less personal, and I think, you know, when you get down to Nassau County and even on a more local level, using social media, whether it be for a campaign or whether it be for, you know, if you're actually already elected, it's a really great way to, like, get your community involved. And the more localized it is, the better you can, you know, deal with really specific issues. So that's why I thought Ed Mangano really using, like, the discussion boards on his Facebook, and really anytime somebody commented and asked him a question, he, like, responded directly to them on Facebook, which I thought was...
That's interesting.
I thought it was really strong, and I think it's probably one of the things that's going to help him.
More politicians should...
Absolutely. I
know where I live in Queens, there was a really tight city council race, and I know there was one candidate, the one who won, was at every event, you know, that I went to, every event that really happened, and there was like some oil spill or something, and he went cleaning up pollution, and his opponent came in a suit, posed for 5 minutes, and left.
Right. I think this year, especially in all the elections, it was really more about, like, specific issues and what people really cared about and wanted to be changed, as opposed to, you know, am I a Republican voting for a Republican, am I voting Democrat voting for a Democrat? You know, we saw, like, with states like New Jersey that it kind of went the other way this time. And I think people are really starting to care more about, who's going to get back to me, like, who's going to answer my specific questions. So I thought that was really great. Oh, hello. And I was just staring at the camera. We're back. We had to take a little momentary break because one of my roommates came in and kind of disrupted the flow of thought. But here we are. We're back, and we've edited that part out. So
we were talking about Twitter and
yes,
Mangano.
we were talking about Twitter and Mangano and Swazi.
Do you think it helped sway people?
I think it absolutely
their
did.
Use of social media?
I think absolutely, especially because, Swazi was the incumbent. And sometimes a lot of people, regardless of whether the person's doing a good job or not, they'll just, stick with what you know. So as a new candidate, I think it was especially important for him. And it really helped people to get to know him, which is, one of the biggest problems with politics is, the lack of transparency. Like, who are these people?
Right.
You can go on his Facebook and, his wife has a Facebook too. You can click on hers.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, and it's just, it really, it makes it more personal. And especially when you're getting down to, this is a county executive. We're not talking about President of the United States here, You want to know the person that's dealing with you, on such a local level, and you want to know that, they really understand your issues.
I agree. I mean, politics on Long Island is a more personal thing than it is in New York City, obviously.
Right.
And,
absolutely.
And, I mean, I don't think anybody expected Bloomberg not to win, but I don't think people expected the margin to be as close as it was. Yeah. I vote third party. Not that I voted this election, but
it's all right.
But no, the rent is too high.
The rent is too high. You hear that?
The rent is too high.
But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think it's so interesting, especially the fact that, social media is this really big idea and it's this big world, and in reality, the internet, it's such a huge, all-encompassing thing, but it really actually ends up bringing everything onto a more personal level, which I think is such an interesting concept that
especially in localized politics.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's such an interesting thing because so many people argue that the internet kind of takes away the one-on-one thing. It makes things less personal, and then in a journalism sense, in a political sense, it actually helps make things more personal. It actually helps, Ed Mangano was able to answer so many more people's, personal questions individually than he would have if there wasn't such a thing as Facebook. And I think that makes all the difference at the end of the day. And I mean, I think it's something that I would factor in if I was voting for somebody. Definitely.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't vote this year, unfortunately. I would have liked to.
Neither did I, but
oh well.
Something to keep in mind for next time.
At least we're informed.
At least we're informed. Absolutely.
I'm David Gordon.
I'm Lisa DiCarlucci. And this was On the DL.